Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching. And as I decided to record this video and put together this white paper on the future of coaching, I realized something. I'm a pretty opinionated guy, but let me give you where my opinions come from. Years ago, I was at an organization doing typical sales training, customer service training, and what I thought was really good content. And I remember I was in Las Vegas at a major multi-billion-dollar manufacturing firm's annual sales meeting. And I was up talking about sales training, what we were going to do for the day. And before I was about to get up and speak, the vice president got up, and I'll never forget it. And he got up and he started to threaten the sales organization. There were some giggles thinking it was a dose of humor. And as I looked up at him as he was at the podium and he was talking, and he started to use profanity. And I realized he was serious. And it dawned on me, no matter what I say, as good as I think I am, whatever comes out of my mouth, they're going to be thinking about what this guy just said. I was astonished. And I remember I got up to the microphone and I offered to leave because I disagreed with everything he said, and I made that known. It was at that moment I realized something that was sacred in the workplace today, and that is conversations between leaders and their employees are sacred. The outsider can never achieve that. So it brings us to the future of coaching and why I put together this video. For years, for decades, we've had coaches. Coaching is not a new industry. Coaching, like life coaches, executive coaches, have been around for decades. And I really love the ICF, or the International Coaching Federation. They have done a phenomenal job of certifying coaches. Yet, workplace coaching has been pretty rare. We've had mentoring programs, yet we haven't really developed a lot of coaching cultures, especially in the business world. With that being said, where does that leave us? How does a leader coach? What do they need to do? What are some of the things that they need to get better at? All of these things require leaders to become better conversationalists, to leverage positive things that people are doing. Now, it's very simple. When a leader calls somebody into their office and they say to the employee, I need to see you in my office right away, what's the employee's first response? I've never, ever, ever had anyone say, oh, my promotion's here. 99.9% of the time they say, uh-oh, what did I do wrong? Why is that? Because that's what exactly happens. So much like the sales in the CRM industry, we start to throw technology at things. Now we have artificial intelligence apps. Now we have these tools that supposedly coach. I'm not against the tools. There's some great things out there. Yet, there is nothing better than a leader sitting down with his or her employees and praising them and leveraging their strengths and coaching them. An app can't do that. The reason the CRM industry has had so much failure has nothing to do with the technology. It's the behavioral adoption. It's been estimated almost 70% of all CRM projects fail. Not because of technology. It's because most sales leaders do what? They literally say, where are your sales? How many leads did you have? The middle part of the CRM, all the activity, the interaction between the rep and the prospect or customers inside the CRM, but they don't go in there. Technology is not always the answer. So let me share some statistics. One of my favorite authors, Tasha Eurich, in her book Insight, reports, in her survey, 95% of people said they were highly self-aware. She tested and assessed them and found out only 10% of people are somewhat aware. That means 80 to 85%, 8 to 8.5 out of every 10 employees are fooling themselves. So let me add some humor to this. When was the last time someone walked in your office and said, boss, I got to tell you, I got a crappy attitude. And by the way, I'm going to undermine my teammates. And I know Susie got promoted last week. I'm probably going to start a rumor about her. Now, I know that comes off cynical. I know it comes off jaded. I get how this is coming off. Yet the Gallup organization still reports 71% of employees, especially in the United States, are neutrally or actively disengaged. Only 29% are engaged. Not even 3 out of 10 people are positively engaged in the workforce. So here's another bit of evidence. Isn't it amazing? Coronavirus, the pandemic, caused people all the way up to the sea level for us to be concerned about people. We needed a pandemic to do that. And I'll share another quick story with you. I had a call from a VP of HR. A couple years ago, we were promoting our services and they didn't go anywhere. And he called me and said, we really need your help. And I said, how come? He said, well, now people are working at home. We don't know what they're doing. The communication is terrible. And I said, your communication didn't start because of the pandemic. It started long before the pandemic when you and I first met. Coaching is not a magic answer. Your people were coaching long before the pandemic. He said, I remember you made a comment to me. I said, yeah, if you're not scheduling time with your people, you are silently sending them a message that you don't care. May not be your intent. Yet that lack of intent, that lack of action, that lack of scheduled time with employees does what? It creates a perception. So where does that leave us today? The future of coaching. I am not against artificial intelligence apps. I'm not against the tools that are out there. There's some great companies doing some awesome things with this. Let me share this with you. There are 2 reasons why managers and leaders don't coach. The first reason before those 2 is the mythical reason they don't have time. That's bull. Here's why it's bull. If 2 people leave somebody's team, who does the hiring? They have to interview. They have to rehire. Of course they have time. It's a bogus answer because it's a mask for the 2 real reasons. They don't know what to do and they don't know what to say. And if you don't know what to do, you won't do it. And if you don't know what to say, you won't even try. You'd rather just tell people what to do. Yet we know that doesn't build workplace engaged teams. So what's the answer? Training? Not a shock there. Here's the big one. Simple. Practice. How do you coach a millennial who wants to get promoted next Friday and they started last Tuesday? How do you coach someone to be more active and they keep saying, well, I'm near retirement? How do you coach someone who just got passed over for a promotion and now they've got to work for the person who got the promotion? How do you coach a peer who's really being disengaged and, if anything, undermining to the upper level management team? Every single day, leaders are faced with conversations, faced with challenges, and they have to practice what to do and what to say. It's that simple. We can talk till we're blue in the face about assessments and engagement studies and all these things. And I'll share the last story with you. One of our clients has a leader who is a fantastic coach, passionate about his people, schedules time, makes the time, sends handwritten cards home, always in a great mood. And we recorded one of his coaching sessions, and we were actually factually scoring his ability to coach. He interrupted 11 times. He used the word but, B-U-T, 19 times. He never demonstrated active listening. And by the way, he's a great coach. Just means he has an opportunity to improve. Now, when you looked at the transcript, you're thinking, this guy wants to argue with people. And he doesn't. You meet him, you realize right away he's a great coach. Yet he still has an opportunity to improve. So about an hour before I recorded this message, I had a session with 20 leaders throughout the world at one of our client sites. And every single person shared something that I thought was so interesting. We teach something called dovetailing, where you sit down with somebody and say, Joanne, here are the 3 things I love about you. And I think about time management becoming one of your strengths. And let's say time management is the area I want to coach this person. Now, the normal manager says what? Joanne, you're doing a pretty good job here and here, but, and then we unload on why your time management is terrible, which does what? It demoralizes. It demotivates. It creates a lack of inspiration because people don't what? They don't know what to do and they don't know what to say. The only way leaders can become great coaches, the only way your organization can become a great coaching organization is one conversation at a time. If we lead with people's strengths, if we call people into the office for the good stuff, if we send handwritten cards home praising people, we'll get to the areas where they need to improve. Yet if we do it this way, they become more accepting of this. Seems simple, right? Then why don't people do it? So again, the purpose of this message is to get people to realize the number one barrier to coaching is they don't know what to do and they don't know what to say. Software tools, artificial intelligence will not replace that. Our leaders need to be conversationalists that leverage strengths, demonstrate empathy, are thoughtful and professional in their approach. If every leader does that, my contention is companies would not even have to recruit employees to work for them. That's the future of coaching. That's where coaching needs to go. I think we're going to throw a lot of tools at this. I think it's going to come right back to the basics. Do we know what to do and do we know what to say?